You're listening to The Conversation with Khalif.
All right. Hey, how you doing? All loud and ghetto. Ciao. Welcome back to The Conversation with Khalif. First of all, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. It took a lot of work. I put so much thought into it. It took quite a bit of work and patience and love. I hope you benefited from it. For all my non-binary people out there, shout out to you for being you. And for all the cis folks or not, or other non-binary people, because, you know, just because you're non-binary doesn't mean you know this, that, and the third about it. But shout out to everyone for listening. Shout out definitely to Alex Zandria. Shout out to Lex Thompson, and shout out to Rari. Thank y'all so much just for being amazing people, amazing human beings. I was so excited that all of them could come together and we can do this to help elevate the conversation, to help people understand so that everyone doesn't feel misgendered and we can get past it, because pronouns and gender, it's not that hard of a concept, but once you understand it, it makes perfect sense and it's just normal. So we're not trying to push any propaganda, this or the third, down anybody's throat. We're just trying to make sure everybody feels safe and respected within spaces. So thank y'all so much. Now, this is the after show. Yes, darling, the after show. It's time for the after show. It's time for the after show. It's time for the after show. Child, I'm going to make that my theme song. Child, you going to know if you subscribe to my Patreon that's going to be the theme song, because I'm just doing this in one take. But yes, this is the after show. And this is the first of many after shows. Each week after the show, we'll do, quote unquote, an after show. Duh. The after show is so you can get a little bit more information if you want to do a Q&A with me, if you want to listen a little bit more, because we only have a limited time to do the podcast. But the after show, you can, if you have questions that you need answered or would like answered, we are here. Well, I am here. In addition to sometimes the guests that are on my show will be here to talk with you live, loud, and in color on the after show. The after show, this after show is the first and only after show, though, that will occur here on Apple Podcast, or if you're on Spotify, on Spotify. All of the after shows will be occurring on my Patreon. Patreon is a subscription-based platform, and it provides business tools for creators to run subscription content service. It allows creators to create a monthly income by providing exclusive rewards and perks to their subscribers. Pretty much, if you didn't know, we don't have commercials on The Conversation. We don't have ads popping up in and out of the episode, because we like to do what we like to do. We like to party. Hey, so the way that you can show up and show love and support, in addition to listening to the show, is by subscribing to my Patreon. My Patreon is patreon.com/Khalif. And if you want to, because you're listening on Apple Podcasts, or if you're listening on Spotify, why did I say Apple Podcasts first? Like I value the Apple Podcast better than the Spotify. To be honest, I would prefer, this is a sidebar. Honestly, you hear a train going by, but this is the after show, child. It's a little unorthodox. If you don't hear the train, disregard what I just said. But I honestly would prefer if people listened on Spotify, because for some reason I can't see my statistics for Apple Podcasts. So people are listening on Apple Podcasts, but I don't know what's going on, what's going down over there. So I can see how many people listened and all the things on Spotify. So if you have it, use it. If you don't, girl, just child, listen to it wherever you can get it, which is Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But my Patreon is where you can get exclusive access to the after show. Now, this is the only after show that will be here on Apple Podcast or Spotify, if you're listening on Spotify. And the after shows will be loud, live, and in color, okay? You'll be able to talk with me and sometimes the guest on that week's show live and ask us questions about what we said, or challenge us on what we said, or, you know, I really didn't like this, that is the place where you can do it. So Patreon has these different subscription options, and I have 3. So my first subscription option is only $5. Child, $5 is a trip on a train and less than the price of Chipotle. Okay, let's be real. It's not that much for an entire month. This one is called The Leaf Family. So if you didn't know, or if you're new to the show, thank you for listening. Hey, welcome to the family. This family is called The Leaf Family. Khalif, like a leaf on a tree, The Leaf Family. And On the Leaf Family subscription, you'll get exclusive access to after shows and the live chats with me. In addition, you'll get some behind the scenes. We get to do Q&As, a little exclusive content that I'm not going to disclose because it's super dope and you got to go check it out on Patreon. Now, the next option that I have is Cousins. So the way we operate over here is we are all the Leaf family, but the way we refer to each other is cousins. What's up, cousin? What's up, cousin? So we are cousins over here at the Leaf family. Cousins, of course, with a K. You know, everything has to be okay. From the conversation to cousins. You know, it's going to give what it's going to give. So if you've been following me for a while, you already know what's going to give on this Cousins subscription. It is $10. And here you get exclusive photos, behind the scenes. You get bloopers, motivational videos. Sometimes I like to work out, so you'll get to work out with me in the mornings if I choose to work out that particular morning. I don't work out for my external look or whatever. I work out because it's healthy for my mental health, and I enjoy sharing that with other people. So that is where I'll be sharing that on my Patreon, and we'll do workouts live together in the mornings whenever I choose to do that workout in the morning. And they're really simple. I'm not lifting weights. These are things you can do in your home. These are things that anybody of any age can do. And I encourage you to push yourself and go there. I'm not professional in terms of that, but it is just something for me and you as well to do for your mental health. In addition to that, you get early access to episodes. With the $5 membership, okay, this is something that you probably didn't know, but the $5 membership had exclusive access to the season 3 premiere. Not every episode, but the people who subscribed already have already heard the premiere of The Conversation with Khalif before it even came out to the world. It came out Monday, and this episode dropped on July 1st, which was a Thursday. Child, whenever you listen to this, Thursday, July 1st, 2021. And with the $10 one, you'll get exclusive early access to episodes. So some weeks we'll do a 2-part series to a show, because sometimes we have to take the conversation to a second part. We did that in season 2 with Brandon A. Mashak. We did it in season 2 also with Dr. Christopher Bass. We also did it in season 1 for the finale. It was really dope and amazing. So make sure y'all go over there, because if it's a part 1 over here and it's a part 2, best believe that part 2 is going to be there the same day that it's available on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Like, you're not going to have to wait a week to listen to part 2. You can listen to part 1 and part 2 at the same time if we do that with an episode. Also, the episodes come out earlier than they come out to the rest of the world. So you get those early access, to those episodes. Child, did I hit a train? I live next to this train, so occasionally you'll hear it. I try not to let it bleed through the show, but you know, it happens. Stuff happens. Life. In addition to that, you get, of course, the live after show. You also get the Convo After Dark, which I'm so excited about. Y'all don't know how excited I am about the Convo After Dark, child. The Convo After Dark is everything that I would say The Conversation with Khalif is a little PG-13, borderline, almost rated R, but I would definitely say the Convo After Dark is rated R in terms of the things that we get to talk about. We get to be so much more stripped down. It's a little less structured. It is with you. Whoever wants to hop on and talk with me on the Convo After Dark, that's just what we do. So we talk about sex, love, drugs, a bunch of other things, but pretty much nothing is off limits. It is just open, super raw, super stripped down, not for the public consumption, if you know what I mean. But that is the Cousins subscription.
You're listening to The Conversation with Khalif.
Now, the last subscription is $15, which I know is a little extra, but it has a little extra. It includes everything that you get in the Cousins, everything that you get in the Leaf family, but it also includes, should I say it? Yes, it also includes some personal photos. It's not OnlyFans. Let's get that straight. Before you go over there thinking you're going to see some nudes and then be disappointed. It's not OnlyFans, but it is. I'm not showing my bits and pieces, but I'm showing some pieces and bits, if you know what I mean. You know, I'm not showing it all, but exposed. I'm sorry if I just in your ear. But yes, so you get the Convo After Dark, you get behind the scenes, you get bloopers, this, that, and the third. So the first blooper that you'll be able to hear will be available on the $5 one. The bloopers on the Kissing Cousins are the funniest, I think, in addition to the bloopers you hear with the cousins. But the Leaf family bloopers are just really funny. The first blooper you're going to hear is with me and my first guest on the Conversation podcast, and that is Hope Giselle. Honestly, you will get to hear what the episode almost was and what it wasn't. And I will, with that blooper, I'm going to give a little background to it. Before I over-explain, go to the Patreon, get that $5 thing, and you will know, okay? It should be uploaded by the time I put this out, but yes. Oh, so for today, I have a special offer for all the non-binary people. If you don't have time, or if you would like a better way to explain without sending people this entire episode, you can do that, because, your time is worth something and you don't have to explain yourself. And this is what this episode was created for. But if you would like a quick little tidbit that you can use, quick get in and out there to just put the thought and information in there, in their minds and people's minds about how to use your pronouns or whatever, you can just tell them you can go to my Patreon, the $5 one. I made it the cheapest option. And I had a short little clip on how you can just inform people of that in a way that is digestible for people in that given space, especially for work. Like for me, disclosing the fact that I'm non-binary at work was really scary. Someone said to me, "This is why I hired this man." And I was like, "Oh, I'm not a man." And they're like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Actually, I'm non-binary. My pronouns are they and them." And they're like, "What does that mean?" I was like, I'm going to wait till the episode comes out. So for all the people who are listening to this who work at my job, how you doing? And thank y'all. So with that is it for today. I thank you so much for listening, but make sure you follow me on my social media platforms and go subscribe to my Patreon. My Instagram is The Conversation Podcast. That's The Conversation, spelled with a K instead of a C, podcast. And you can also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is They Them Khalif. That's They Them Khalif. And again, my Patreon is patreon.com/Khalif. patreon.com/KALEAF. I will see you real soon if you're coming to the Patreon, real soon. And I will see you next week if you ain't got the $5 this week. I'm not going to tell you to break the bank if it's going to break your bank. But these are monthly subscriptions. So it's a $5 for the entire month. It's $10 for the entire month, or it's the $15 for the entire month. So I love you for listening. Shout out to each and every one of you just for being an amazing person. And I will see you real soon. Bye-bye.